Hello again there viewers, Brian here at 3TR and welcome to another one of my top 10s lists. And this time I will be going over the top 10 best movies that I saw in 2012. Now this is my personal list and it may be significantly different from yours or many others that have done these type of videos this week. And there may be a lot of movies that were good that I decided not to mention. If you'd like to know why, feel free to comment down below. But enough rambling, it's time to get on with my top 10s list. My number 10 movie of this year was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Now, I do know that this movie really wasn't received very well in the box office or by critics, but I personally enjoyed it very much. I thought that the way they incorporated an action version of Abraham Lincoln with vampires and incorporating it to see exactly how well it fit into the whole slavery Civil War era, I thought worked very well. And it's nice to see someone work an axe better than anyone that I've seen before. And I definitely like the look and the tone of the film, which is why it's my number 10. On to my number 9, we have 21st Jump Street. Now, before 21st Jump Street, I wasn't a fan of Jonah Hill or Channing Tatum, but after seeing this movie, I could see that they actually do have some real talent, and they can be funny with the right source material and the right script. Which is why I'd like to see them in more of this stuff, and I heard that they're actually working on a sequel. This movie had a lot of comedy, a lot of heart, and overall I thought it was a very good, throwback to the original 21st Jump Street show, also having quite possibly one of the greatest cameos I've ever seen in a movie, which is why it's my number 9. On to my number 10, we have Men in Black 3. Now, Men in Black 3 wasn't quite as good as the first one, but definitely was a step up above the second one. And it was really good to see Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith come together one last time in order to pull another great, I'd say, friendly type of movie. Although Josh Brolin's portrayal of a young Kate was definitely the most standout performance that I've seen all year. And although the whole time travel thing was a bit corny, it did allow us to get some backstory into Kate and Jay's personal history. And I really thought that helped me understand their characters and their personalities a bit more. Which I thank the movie for that. On to my number 7 movie, we have RedTails. Now, RedTails was actually the first movie that I saw that I reviewed this year, and I ended up seeing it twice. And what made this movie stand out from the others was that it told the story of the Tuskegee Airmen and allowed me to really understand the type of struggles that African Americans had to face during the World War II era, which was something that I knew very little about, but since then have actually grown to understand more exactly what part they played overall. And I'm happy to say that walking out of this movie, I felt a great sense of pride. And that's really something I can't really say today very often for personal reasons. And I also thank George Lucas for producing it and bringing it to life. And the actors really did play their parts very well, which is why it's where it stands. On to my number 6, we have Lincoln, which is my Oscar champion that I will be rooting for during the Oscars and Academy Awards era series timeline. Everything about Lincoln was great. Definitely better than Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter because it told a more realistic sense of exactly what kind of man Abraham Lincoln was back in his day and the challenges and obstacles that he had to overcome. Also allowing us to see exactly how American politics worked back then and seeing exactly how they haven't really changed since then. So it's definitely a very well done political historical movie about understanding a character and the time period and seeing exactly how they handled problems comparing to how we would handle problems. And that's really something I haven't seen in many movies, I would say even in the last decade, which is why it's where it is today. On to my number 5, we have Resident Evil Damnation. Now, Resident Evil Damnation is unquestionably one of the best CG full animated video game based movies that I have ever seen. Even better than, say, Final Fantasy Advent Children. This movie is the clear example to how you make a video game based movie, by simply telling a story which connects to the already existing storyline in the game and giving us some exposition and explanations to what we can expect in future games. And I think that filmmakers who want to make video game based movies need to watch this film and take notes because everything about this works. The action, the characters, the voice acting, everything works. And if you have not seen Resident Evil Damnation, then I suggest you check it out however you can from your Redbox or your Netflix. However you can, you have to check this out if you are a fan of video games. Next on my list, we have WreckIt Ralph. WreckIt Ralph is probably the best Disney film that I have seen since Toy Story 2 and really incorporated creating a video game world that had a heart warming essence of understanding that WreckIt Ralph really simply wants to be, he doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore, although he has to, because even a bad guy plays an important role in a video game. And heck, if there weren't a villain, who the heck would we have to fight against or give us objectives? And I definitely like the animation and the overall look of the movie, and seeing all these great iconic video game characters kind of interact, which was definitely most of my favorite parts. And I really hope that they make a WreckIt Ralph 2, because I definitely believe there are more stories to be told with this character in this world. Now on to the next one, we have The Raid. The Raid was an independent film which was very highly regarded at the Toronto Film Festival, and now I can see why. The martial arts in this movie has unmatched in any sense. I haven't seen a movie quite as unique as this since The Protector, and that too really didn't get a widespread release, and I think it should have been. This was unquestionably one of the most unique films of showing exactly how they could actually produce more with less. Although it didn't have a very big budget, it definitely knew that it wanted to set the bar high in terms of martial arts films, and it certainly did that. And to this day, it is still my most successful movie review that I have done at 3TR, and I have all you guys to thank for that. On to my number 2 movie, I have Skyfall. Skyfall is, and quite possibly, one of the best Bond films of all time, and for me, solidified why Daniel Craig is in fact my favorite Bond, even over some of the other Bonds which I won't mention. I'm not sure if I would put it, say, as good as, say, GoldenEye or Goldfinger, but definitely created a much more realistic and grounded Bond that I think the audience and myself could connect to and really understand why he is the way he is, and understanding that times have changed in terms of the overall threats, seeing how, you know, everything's done on computer. I thought that Javier playing one of the best Bond villains that I think any of us have seen in a long time, and having one of the greatest intros, definitely makes it stand apart in terms of Bond films, and was a well-deserved entry for the 50th anniversary. And now, for the finale, my number 1 film of the year, which I'm sure you can tell, is The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan did an amazing job with the previous 2 Dark Knight films, and I'm happy to say that he sent this one off with a bang. This is quite possibly this was my most anticipated movie of 2012 to begin with, and I'm happy to say that it still remains the best movie I saw this year. I've seen this movie 5 times. They were all entertaining. It was nice seeing this particular version of Batman get a wonderful send-off and solidify why he will and will always remain my favorite hero movie. And this will also remain as my favorite trilogy of my lifetime. And with that, that is my top 10 favorite best movies that I saw this year. Now, again, if there were any movies that you guys felt that should have been put on this list, please comment down below, and I will explain why it was not added on this list. And please tell me, what were your guys' top 10 favorite movies of 2012, because I'd really like to know. And also, if you'd like to see the individual movie reviews for any of these films on my list, you can check the description down below, and I've listed them in numerical order. And if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep track of me in my future videos. And like always, thank you for watching, and have a good day. And I will see you next time. Yeah, I guess. See you guys.